When I walk down there, I see the guy run into his house, and then he comes out with a gun and starts shooting at him.
Turn around. Stop right there. Stop right there. Turn around. Turn around.
Suspect grabs her by the arms and starts shaking her.
Yes or no?
YouTube, TikTok, I seen this many times.
Sunday evenings in this sleepy suburb usually pass without much fuss. However, everything shifts at 10 o'clock at night when an urgent dispatch crackles across the scanner, ending the peace. Attention everyone, gunfire reported and verified by the caller. Right now, the responding team has very few details. Gunshots rang out at a house over on Clover Street. The person on the line says he pulled the trigger because he felt threatened. That is the whole story so far. With no witnesses or injury reports, there is no telling if the guy is still packing heat or how he'll react to the law. Consequently, patrol cars begin racing toward the scene. You can't just roll up to a crisis like that and expect a friendly welcome. Within minutes, the law has a suspect in handcuffs right outside the residence. Hands up where I can see them, keep them raised. Show me your palms, follow my voice or I'm letting the canine loose. Head toward the street while listening to me. Move toward the pavement and follow my directions. Come toward the front entrance guided by my speech. Don't drop those hands, maintain that position and approach the street. Keep moving, do not stop, just keep shuffling forward. Move forward, good. Keep it up, stay in motion. No, stay moving, don't quit now, just walk. Right, don't stop, let's move, continue forward, face away. I've got him, spin around, freeze right here, stay put. Face the other way, spin around. Meet Roman Rowicki, a 50-year-old Palm Bay local and dad to several little ones who were present that evening. Only moments ago, he informed 911 dispatchers that he had fired off his weapon. By his account, an unknown intruder trespassed on his land, leaving him terrified for his own safety and his kin. While that explanation seems simple enough, in these scenarios, the narrative shared with operators and the facts gathered by detectives frequently clash. Consequently, the police are poised to uncover precisely where the two accounts stop matching up. While Rowicki is escorted toward a cruiser for an intensive pat-down and additional interrogation, the deputies staying on the premises have a single pressing objective: sweep the house, confirm that the dwelling is empty, and verify that any danger has been neutralized. Given the current emergency, legal search permits are not required. They call this a safety sweep. It is a quick, legal search meant to protect everyone involved. This is Palm Bay PD. Step out if you are currently inside the residence. Palm Bay Police, identify yourself immediately if you are in there. Are we all set? Yeah. Heading left. Entryways are wide open on both sides. Once the area is secured, detectives shift focus to their primary goal, which is hearing the perpetrator's version of events. That mission proves far more difficult than they anticipated. Rowicki is difficult immediately, whining about the cuffs being snug, shouting over the cops, and disregarding every order given. As soon as a deputy tries reading him his rights to discuss the specifics of the incident, the situation unravels fast. Which way are we headed? We're heading to the cruiser. Why though? Because we told you. Okay, but can you secure the entrance? Look, that is not our concern yet. Chill out. Cops are guarding the place. Your house is perfectly safe. Right. Not yet anyway. I've seen this play out. Fine. Just sitting. This is my first time in trouble. Look. Quiet down. I need to search you. You carrying any heat? None. Okay. Nothing. Just my keychain. Got it. All right. Go ahead and bolt my door. Not that one. Fine. We will deal with that in just a second, dude. Sure. What do they call you? The name is Star. Actually, stand right here. Come over this way. Man, this ride is really sweet. Okay, we are going to head inside this place now. All right, just stay right here. Yeah, take another look for sure. Verify it. You guys need to rotate your hands this way. Grab this. You need to spin around and sit your butt down. Take a chair. Sit. I am familiar with the drill. Fine. Well, sit down. I have told you 3 times now. Take a seat. Can you handle this over the cell? Look. No, that is not happening. Face toward me. Yeah. Look at me. It will make things go a lot smoother. All right. My house keys are right here. That is not the priority right now. Right here. Take a seat. Please bolt the door. Sit. Can you? We already discussed the house. I gave you an answer. Sit down. Okay. Pay attention. I have to read something, so listen up. Are you following me? Fine. You can stay quiet. Anything you mention will definitely be held against you in a legal trial. Do you get it? I am not giving any statements at this point because I am about to wrap this whole thing up. Let me just wrap this up. That is not how the law works. I am stating your protections. Focus. You can choose to say whatever. Every word you speak will be used as evidence in front of a judge. You're injuring me. These cuffs. Focus on my words. The metal is biting into my skin. Who are you? Anyway, I tried speaking with you. What is your name? Look, after I finish this statement, then we can have a conversation. We cannot chat until I deliver this notice. So, just listen. You can keep your mouth shut. Anything you say will be used in a trial. You are entitled to an attorney and can have them sit with you during this interrogation. If you lack the funds for counsel, the state will provide one for you upon request. You can choose to stop talking or revoke these rights whenever you want. Do those rights make sense to you? Who will stop? I need a clear yes or no. Do you comprehend? Answer me this. Who is entering my place? Do you even have a warrant for that search? We are dealing with this right now. You hearing me? Fine. Who gave the order to go through my property? What's your badge name? Who authorized you to toss my place? Identify yourself. Who gave the okay to sweep my home? Name? This isn't how things work. You came to me, yeah, and you're poking through my stuff, clearly without a legal warrant. Get it? Zero warrant. You're inside my property with no paperwork. My children just walked out. I'm done speaking. You follow? I've got an 11 and a 14-year-old. I'm going to explain this to you once more. Fine. I will repeat myself one last time. My former wife grabbed the kids, and then that lady appeared at my doorstep. Look, will you hear him out? Or should we just close the cruiser door and wait, man? Whenever you're calm, I'll try the reading again. All right, that sounds fair. Sure, just give him a moment, let him sit with it. Man, you can only repeat the same routine so often. Wow, definitely. Since Rowicki keeps cutting them off, finishing the legal rights becomes impossible. The cops choose to stall. They slam the police car door and leave him to chill, betting a bit of silence will help him cooperate. Right about then, detectives receive a fresh update. Someone living close by just dialed 911. The caller informs the operator that he and his girlfriend were fired upon at the very location where Rowicki is being held. Suddenly, a new perspective emerges. Consequently, while half the squad stays put, the rest head to the victims to get the direct story. The details those cops are about to uncover will completely shift the narrative of that evening on Clover Street. Got him in sight. Mark here. What's the situation? Appreciate it. Hey fellas, fill me in. Well, my lady apparently pulled up to that man's driveway. We just started dating. She hit the incorrect address. Where's she now? She's in the house. Fine. She confused the addresses. When she arrived, she probably tried the doorbell. Wait, I'll bring her out. Hold on, guys, let me get her outside. Understood. I won't enter the residence, just ask her to step out. I'll explain. I headed down there because she rang me. She goes, "This dude is grabbing me." I could literally hear the struggle over the line. The speakerphone picked up her yelling, "Ouch, release me, stop." I'm asking her what's happening. She tells me she thought she was at my place. Get out here. I'm at your doorstep. We're a new couple. She ended up at that stranger's home, and when she stepped out, he snatched her, slammed her down, and injured her. So I rush over to the scene. I spot him dashing back indoors, and I jump into her vehicle while she's shouting to leave. Hurry! As we pull away, there's another mystery car idling behind us. No clue who that belonged to. We just peeled out. The man begins firing at the sedan. There are entry marks in the rear, and the tires are shot out. Look here. Check out the impact point right there. Plus, this wheel is dead. It's obvious he punctured the rubber somewhere. I can't find the hole, but it's totally drained. Wait, right there. Wow, that's a direct hit. Yeah, clearly struck that spot. There, just leave it alone. That might be a nut. Yeah, uncertain. Don't touch. All right, fine, yeah. Then check the projectile hole here. And the wheel. She's from Orlando. She made the long drive up. She hit the wrong driveway, and the man snatched her up and attacked her. Then he sprints toward the road. Okay, so he shot at the car. Correct. We just bailed. We were attempting to escape. We weren't doing anything wrong. She was simply trying to visit me. What happened? Did he shout anything or what? I overheard him calling her a streetwalker through the phone. He was screaming that you're a hooker, right? Then he tackles you to the pavement and she rings me and all I hear is, "Look, I know you're stressed and it's chaotic, but to keep the facts straight, we usually interview witnesses alone. Step over here. Let's keep chatting. So after the shooting, you both drove here, went indoors, and then phoned it in. He ran toward the road without saying a single word. Total silence. I didn't catch any threats. Like I mentioned, she reached out to me. I could distinguish a male's voice behind her while she was begging him to unhand her. Get off of me. Stop it. And I pick up this guy yelling that she's a working girl. He had this thick Eastern European drawl shouting about her being a pro, something along those lines. Once I arrive at the scene, I witness the man retreat into his home before re-emerging with a pistol and opening fire on us. Could you describe the firearm? Nope. Negative. I just caught the silhouette of a piece in his grip. He was aiming. It's pitch black. You get what I'm saying? Basically, she had pulled over. If that's his entrance, she was positioned roughly where my mail slot would be along the curb. So was there any shouting match between you? No way. Absolutely not. Like I stated, I pulled up and immediately saw him duck back inside. Right. Yeah, that's the whole story. The dude just started blasting at the vehicle. I have no idea why he targeted her car. Yeah. Finally, a coherent narrative begins to take shape. Per the male witness, labeled as WP in official files, his partner, called TP, was driving to his residence. It was her maiden trip to that location. However, she missed a turn and stopped at the incorrect house. That residence belonged to Roman Rowicki. WP informs the police that as TP neared the door, Rowicki reportedly seized her, slurred her as a lady of the night, and held her captive. This wasn't just talk. The cops witnessed the proof. Clear marks on TP's forearm and wrist matched the patterns of a forcible struggle. Even so, she scrambled to her cell and dialed WP for assistance. As WP arrived a bit later, Rowicki avoided a confrontation. He retreated indoors, grabbed a weapon, and began shooting. What makes that choice even more shocking is the timing. This whole ordeal unfolded during a scheduled child swap. Rowicki's own kids were on site that evening while being transferred to their mom. Those youngsters didn't just hear the shots, they saw the violence unfold. That's the initial testimony. Of course, in any detective work, a single perspective is merely the beginning. So the squad returns to the cruiser to attempt the rights reading once more, praying for a breakthrough. I'll give it another shot. Right. Okay. Hey, what's the deal? Listen. Fine. Let's attempt this one more time. May I have your name so I can speak to you properly? Yeah. Roman Rowicki. Roman. Sure. Can you loosen these? They're digging into me. Roman, look at me. I'm telling you straight up, I'm not the person you're after. I swear on everything, man. I hear you. I do. Let me just loosen these cuffs a bit so they stop digging in. There. That should feel better. Look, regardless of how tight they are, I've got to read this statement to you, Roman. Just let me get through this so we can actually talk. My hands are tied until I officially inform you of your rights. So, give me a second and listen up. You have the right to remain silent. Any statement you make can be used against you in court. You're entitled to an attorney and can have one present during any questioning. If hiring a lawyer isn't financially possible, one will be provided by the state to represent you before we ask any questions. You can choose to invoke these rights whenever you want, stopping any statement or questioning immediately. Got it? Do these rights make sense to you? Look, I've seen this play out on TikTok. This isn't some viral video. This is the real deal, okay? Forget the apps. Do you understand what I just explained to you? Simple yes or no. I've watched enough YouTube to know the drill. Man, do you get it? I need a clear answer. Is that a yes or a no? Maybe so, maybe not. I've never been in handcuffs before. Yes or no? This is all new to me, and these metal rings are killing my wrists. He's stonewalling. Fine, we'll circle back later. With the Miranda warning still unacknowledged, the cops shut the door to let Rowicki sit in his thoughts for a while. Meanwhile, at the crime scene, investigators are busy tagging evidence. See those markers? I've only got 2 left in my kit. Can someone handle that over there? Cops began circling the street markers, picking up brass casings scattered all over the pavement. Once the final count was in, the reality was staggering. 17 shots were fired right in the middle of this quiet neighborhood. Detectives also noted bullet holes in nearby cars, proving those stray rounds were hitting everything in sight. While canvassing the block and checking with neighbors, officers found a woman who caught the whole shooting on camera. Police department, open up. She's coming out now, officer. Thanks. I'm just trying to keep everyone calm. Hello there. Hi, we're with the police. Did you hear the gunfire? I actually saw him. You saw the shooter? I was just pulling into the driveway to drop off my daughter. I just had this bad feeling about those two cars sitting there. My daughter told me to stop being so paranoid. But as soon as I stepped out, I saw a white male holding a handgun. My kid was still in the seat, so I scrambled inside, screaming for them to open the door because the shooting wouldn't stop. I was terrified she'd been hit. I understand. We've got him in the back of the car now. I noticed some cameras on the house. Did they catch the incident? Probably not. I don't think so. Was he aiming at someone specific or just waving the weapon around? He just hopped out of the vehicle with the gun ready, and then it was easily over 30 rounds. I'd bet on it because there were so many shots. I'm not even sure if my own car was caught in the crossfire. I took a quick look and didn't see anything, but I'll check again. Do you have some identification on you? I put my keys away, but my hands won't stop shaking. Take a breath. We've got the situation handled. Oh, thank God. Yeah, it's intense. It's okay now. He's in custody and nobody was injured. I can't believe it. The sheer volume of gunfire was insane, and she was just ducked down in the car while I tried to call 911, wondering if my daughter was even alive. So you were right in the thick of it? Yeah, she was trapped in the car. Just like that, the investigation starts gaining momentum, beginning with the victims' accounts. The details provided by TP and WP gave the team their first real break, establishing enough probable cause for several felony charges. And the physical evidence tells the same story. Those marks on TP's arm aren't just random injuries. Those visible marks substantiate her claims of being seized and held against her will. From a legal standpoint, that sort of physical trauma is the specific proof required to pursue counts of assault and kidnapping. Next, we look at the ballistics where 17 discarded shell casings were hauled off the street eventually. A handgun was taken into custody. And the bullet holes in parked cars proved to detectives that projectiles were flying across a family neighborhood and damaging private assets. Per the state code, this behavior triggers penalties, starting with firing weapons in living areas up to extreme felonies, mainly because it looks like those bullets were targeted at individuals who were frantically running away. Even before a detective sits Rewicki down for a formal interview, the framework of the prosecution is already locked in. With the evidence piled up, officers return to the cruiser for one last shot at getting a statement. Let's try the rights one more time. Yeah, we need to get him out of the car anyway. All right, Roman, I'm asking if you're willing to talk. But before we do that, I have to read you your rights. Look, Roman, the absolute last thing I'm trying to do is confess. I'm honestly clueless about the legal situation here, and if I can even chat with you before getting an attorney on the phone. Exactly. That's why I'm reading this to you. I don't follow any of this. This card explains everything. But I'm worried if I say yes, I'm agreeing to things I don't get. Look, I'm going to read it again, and that's why there's a question at the end. Okay, I'm going through it one more time. If you feel confused, you can just say, you don't understand. So, what happens if I say no? Listen, I can't have a conversation with you unless I read this. If I don't, I'm infringing on your constitutional rights. And I'm not trying to do that. See, I'm just worried you're going to take whatever I say and twist it around to use it against me. Look, officer, I grew up in a socialist country. I've been watching this stuff for 25 years. Can you just hear me out? Yeah. As soon as I walk out that door, I don't know who to trust because of how they used to do things. I'm trying to do the right thing. I have no clue what happened back then. All I care about is right here, right now. I've been standing right here with you the whole time. You're searching my residence right this second, and you don't even have a warrant. Okay, but let me ask you something. If we're inside checking things out, don't you think we're authorized to be there? Nope, because there's no warrant or permit involved. Back where I'm from, that's just how things are done. So, yeah, newsflash. We aren't living in a communist state. Look, Roman, are you actually going to cooperate and talk to us? Or what's the deal? This is the third time we've tried this. We can't keep going in circles, so I'm just being straight with you. Hey, hold on and let me finish. You've had your say, so now it's my turn to speak. Just listen for a second. Look, you need to let the officer read this out. It's a simple yes or no, either you get it or you don't. If you do, we can proceed. We're at a standstill until that happens. That is his point. Do you follow? See, I'm actually on your side here. Fine, just close the door. No, you aren't paying attention to me. I'm being dead serious right now. Hey, hold on a minute. Wait, listen to me. You're looking at a resisting arrest charge if you keep this up. No, look, I'll cooperate with you guys. No, This doesn't involve your job. Pay attention, okay? Listen. Forget your shift. Quiet down. Pay attention. You possess the legal privilege to stay completely silent. Got it? Is that clear to you? Do you follow? Fine. Look. Focus. Any statement you provide can and will serve as evidence in a court hearing. Do you comprehend? What do you think would be the smartest move for me? Look, it's just yes or no. Any words you. Okay, great. You're entitled to confer with an attorney or have one present. Absolutely. Right. You hold the legal authority to talk to a lawyer, ensuring they are right here with you during this entire questioning session. Does that register? One more time, you're allowed to speak with counsel and have them nearby. All right. Hey, yeah, I appreciate that. I caught Unit 249 rolling out. 22. Correct. Yeah. Sure. Yep. 22 to 22. The warnings were read so they can proceed with their own part now. Understood. They still can't finish the Miranda rights. Luckily, testimony from victims and witnesses, plus physical evidence, provides a rough outline of the night's events. Once the gravity of the crime hits, Major Crimes gets the call. A detective shows up, and the first officer briefs her. Apparently, an Orlando woman was visiting her boyfriend. She approached the house, but had the wrong place. The guy snatched her arms and began shaking her. Her bracelet is right here, so it might have happened on this spot. He assaults her right here. She has no clue who he is, since she was at the wrong house. She finds her boyfriend, and they return, so he can apologize. Those are all spent shell casings. He just started opening fire on them. There is one more casing over by that vehicle. It's unclear if he pursued them while shooting. Jurgens located a witness by the red car who claims they heard 30 shots. Over by that door, they only heard 10 to 12. We've recovered about 10 or 12 rounds, so the math actually adds up. No one is sure how that casing ended up way down there. The detective moves quickly, approaching Rowicki to try and finish the Miranda warning herself. I'm not sure. I'll attempt to interview him. Could you check if he has any other priors or maybe a different charge? Negative. See, I'm going to attempt an interview, and if you'd please have Ty check his criminal record for any prior felony convictions, that would be fantastic. Copy that. That would be great. Perfect. Excellent. I'm going to Mirandize him now. Makes sense. All right. Roman, thanks. Hey there, Roman. So look, I'd like to discuss everything that happened tonight with you. Right. Yeah. 911. Okay, that is good. So you placed the 911 call. First I'll read your rights, and after that I want to hear your side of the story. You have the right to stay silent. Anything you disclose can be used in court. You need to understand these rights. After he acknowledges his constitutional rights, Riki begins detailing his side of the story to the investigators, starting when TP reached his house, parked on the street, and then got out of her vehicle. So she basically gets out and I wasn't really sure. She steps out, and she walks right past me and her car, going about halfway, almost making it past my Corvette. Okay, I asked where she was going and who she was. He was actually mentioning something about his former partner. I was incredibly frustrated because I have signs posted on my garage and front door. You know, those no soliciting signs. People are always trying to sell me things, and I don't want them on my porch. But she wasn't a salesperson. She was something else. I thought she was at the house 4412. I was confused between two women. They didn't see a thing, and I'm an only child. I also suspected there was a man waiting in her vehicle. I didn't see him clearly, but I assumed he was there, so I felt threatened. I was furious and terrified for my family's safety. I chased her to ensure she left, and then I ran inside to grab my firearm. I felt cornered. My only goal was to keep my family safe. That's the long and short of it. I stand by what I did. Following his statement, Rowicki was taken into custody and transported for processing through the Brevard County jail system. Investigation continued the next morning. Detectives examined security video which supposedly shows the victim approaching the house without any signs of aggression. They also reviewed Rowicki's 911 call. In it, he reportedly admits the woman had simply arrived at the incorrect address. As they interviewed neighbors during a canvass, the sheer recklessness of his behavior became painfully obvious. Was yours the vehicle that got struck? Yeah, that red pickup. It's been sitting there for 3 or 4 days without moving. So, I spent all yesterday polishing my ride, then stepped back out this morning to finish the job, but while cleaning off some leftover rainwater, I spotted something weird. Yeah, that's when I saw it. Listen, I was wondering if any gunfire calls came in overnight, maybe after that storm hit or earlier today. I took a look, though I haven't opened the door yet. Based on the impact shape, it looks like a bullet was tumbling through the air. Seems like a .45 caliber based on the entry angle and how the metal's warped right here. It definitely had a downward trajectory. Right. I actually unlatched it already. Want me to show you? Wait. I'll check with her first. Honestly, there was some trouble late yesterday evening. Oh really? It took place just a few blocks away. Was it actually on this road? Within this residential area? Exactly right, we haven't moved a thing, got it. As we were leaving to run some errands in my vehicle, I caught a glimpse of her glass completely smashed in. Yeah, that is definitely a bullet hole in that door. It must have happened late last night or early today. Actually, it was definitely last night. There was trouble down the street. Do you know who it was? I do, but I'm not talking. Right. Are you catching them? They look bigger than... Okay, good. When you look at the big picture of this case, one fact is impossible to miss. This was way more than just a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control. Detectives claim a series of bad choices put the whole neighborhood in danger. 17 shots were fired in a suburb at night, surrounded by houses, families, and parked trucks. Neighbors had to dive for cover. Bullets hit several vehicles. 2 individuals, including one person who just went to the wrong house, were lucky to survive. And through the whole ordeal, his own kids were right there. Whether that was really self-defense is for the judge to decide. But according to the police findings, the state says his behavior was extremely reckless and a major violation of the law. Roman Rowicki was first charged with 2 counts of first-degree felony attempted homicide, kidnapping, property damage over $1,000, discharging a weapon in a suburb, and assault. Once the state attorney took a harder look at the proof, they increased those charges to 2 counts of first-degree attempted premeditated murder. If he is convicted, Rowicki faces a life sentence. Because he used a gun, Florida law requires a mandatory minimum of 20 years in prison. Rowicki also faced counts regarding the children, specifically 2 charges of child neglect and 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The prosecution eventually chose to drop those specific charges. Still, the fact they were filed shows how dangerous that situation truly was. Rowicki put up $160,000 for bail and was released under orders to avoid the victims and surrender his guns. His legal team is currently navigating the Brevard County court system, with trial dates expected through 2026. As always, he is innocent until a jury finds him guilty. But the evidence from Clover Street that night tells a story that the state argues will be very tough to beat. What do you think about this whole situation? The stakes are massive. If he is found guilty, Rowicki could spend decades in a cell, maybe his entire life. Based on the evidence we have seen, what would you consider a fair sentence? As always, feel free to share your take in the comment section below. This case is a powerful reminder of how quickly fear, assumptions, and unchecked emotions can spiral into irreversible consequences. A simple mistake, someone arriving at the wrong address, should never escalate into violence. Yet in moments where fear overrides judgment, people can justify actions that put innocent lives at risk. What stands out most is not just the gunfire, but the chain reaction of poor decisions. Instead of pausing, asking questions, or de-escalating, the situation intensified. The result? A quiet neighborhood turned into a crime scene, families traumatized, and a future potentially destroyed. This story highlights the importance of emotional control and critical thinking, especially in high-stress situations. Feeling threatened does not automatically justify extreme actions. There is always a responsibility to assess reality before reacting. It also underscores the role of accountability. Every action carries consequences, not just legal, but emotional and societal. Children witnessed violence. Neighbors feared for their lives. Trust within a community was shattered in minutes. In the end, this is more than a crime story. It is a warning. In a world where misunderstandings are inevitable, how we respond defines everything. Choosing restraint, communication, and clarity over fear can be the difference between safety and tragedy.